Hey everybody, Jeff and Chase here with eXp Realty. We like to win for our clients. Okay, so when we get into a conversation with the other side, whether we're representing a buyer or a seller, the first thing we try to do is build a relationship with the other side. You might be thinking, well, why? Well, if we don't build a relationship and if there's no trust between us and the other side, then we could be shut down with anything we bring to the table. Many agents make the mistake of being combative right from the very beginning because they think, gosh, this is the way I need to represent my clients. The more combative you are at the beginning of the relationship, it just shuts down opportunities for ideas to be exchanged.
Yep, nobody likes that. Everybody wants to do business with people that they like. And when you can come in and have a good conversation and be, polite, kind, and kind of, almost not become friends, but you have just you're there for a similar interest, right? And when you come at it with that approach, instead of being combative, they're more open to hearing what you want to say and don't just shut down everything you say. You're opening the dialect.
Yeah, because we owe an agency relationship, a fiduciary service to our clients, but we're also trying to create a meeting of the minds. And that's where agents come together and there's a lot of negotiation. We can't have a deal get done unless both parties agree to the deal. So it needs to be honest, fair, but also representing our clients in a fierce way, but doing it in a nice way.
Yep. And there's a lot of different times throughout the transaction process where we are negotiating for our clients. A lot of people think that it's just the purchase price that we are negotiating, but that is not true. There is a lot of different times in the contract to where we are negotiating. One is the purchase price, right? Just because they list at a certain price doesn't always mean that we agree to it, right? We do a full CMA on the area, what has been sold within the last 3 to 6 months within a certain range. And we identify, is this home actually priced accurately, right? So that's one thing, the purchase price. Next are the terms. There are a number of different terms in the contract, right? When's the closing date? How much earnest money is going to be put down, right? As a buyer, you want to put down the least amount of earnest money as possible. But when you're on the seller side, you want to make sure that that buyer is bought in, right? So you want to see the most amount of earnest money possible, right? So that's another area. Concessions. Are there any concessions that are going to be offered, right? Is the seller offering any concessions to chip in for closing costs, a rate buy down, anything like that, right? So those are a couple of the items to negotiate.
Yeah, and then we get to an even spicier topic, repairs. So oftentimes when there's a due diligence period, the buyer may want repairs and the seller may offer different solutions. They may say, no, I'm not going to repair anything. They may say, well, yeah, we'll repair some things and not others. They might do a credit in lieu. There's all kinds of different scenarios. And oftentimes, quite honestly, sellers get a little hurt from the requests that are made because that's their home they live in. And there's not always an agreement from the very beginning. So that relationship with that other agent is pretty key. We also negotiate with appraisals. So if you buy a house for $500,000 and the appraisal comes in at $490,000, the buyer has a right to ask the seller to reduce their price. And the seller has a right to say no or yes, or meet in the middle, and we start from negotiating from our party standpoint. So we do negotiate with appraisals. We negotiate very hard on the buyer side. And if we represent a seller, we actually go and meet the appraiser at the house and we provide them comparables so they can have additional information to prove our purchase price as the seller. So you can see there's many areas where we negotiate in a contract and we take them very seriously. So that's what you get when you hire me and Chase, and let us know how we can help you.